Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick and simple oil change on an 85 Chevy Caprice. This is the 5-liter V8 carburetor. Before you get started, make sure you've got a good oil filter, a strap wrench, or an oil filter wrench if you need it, and oil of your choice. I've been using 10W30, a full synthetic, now that the car is so old and has a lot of miles on it. I had some good luck with these K&N filters. This is a model HP2002. Again, that's 5 quarts in. So we're underneath the car here. This is the oil pan. This is the nut where we're going to drain out the oil. If you can see, here's the oil filter. We'll come back to that later. This is a 9/16 socket, and so we'll put this on here, loosen it, and we have a pan underneath to catch the oil that's going to come out. And so we'll start loosening this now. So just pop this loose with the 9/16 socket wrench, and now we're just going to unscrew this by hand. Normally, before you take this off, you'd warm the engine and the oil. I haven't done that this time just because we have the car up on stands. I'm pushing in on the nut as I unscrew it, because I just don't want the oil to start leaking until it's ready to come out. Okay, and that's it. Let that drain, and then the first thing to do is clean off the and set that aside. So while the rest of the oil is draining, take your strap wrench or your oil filter wrench, get this hooked up on your oil filter, and we're just going to start to loosen that to break the seal, and this will allow more of the oil to drain out. Get that loose like this, just like that, and then we'll let that sit until the rest of the oil drains out. So now we're going to take the oil filter off. We've already loosened it, so just kind of unscrew it. It should come off very easily. Guide it out. It will be filled with oil, so just support it as you take it out, and then dump it right over your pan. Here you see all the oil come out, and then you can set it there to drain. Alright, so put the nut back on. Just make sure the opening around the oil pan here is clean, no grit. And then you can put this back in and just hand tighten it for now. And then we'll take the socket wrench, again 9/16, just tighten that up. Don't over tighten it. Okay, so get the new oil filter out, and we're going to put a little grease around the rubber seal here to make screwing it on to the car smoother, and also removing it later. And so to do that, you can just use some general purpose grease if we're going to use it for the ball joints later. And I'll just take a little bit on the tip of a finger from my glove, and we're just going to wipe that around. Just leave a little bit just around here. Okay, now we'll put this in the car. We'll put the oil filter now, screw it right in, straight up. You find where it attaches to the threads, and then just gently start turning it with your hand clockwise until the threads catch. And then once they catch, it should still feel pretty loose going in. Okay, it'll wiggle a little bit. You'll kind of turn and keep going when you let go, and that's a good sign that you haven't cross-threading it. And then when you get to the part where the rubber seal mat is catching at the top, you'll start to feel, and you can even hear a little bit of rubbing, and then it just kind of compresses in place there. And so really all we're going to do is hand tighten the oil filter. You don't want to strap wrench this thing down, but you just want to make sure this is a good seal and it's hand tight. And so that's all we're doing here. And that's it. So now that's in place here. Your nut is on and tight, and so we'll go back up top and put in the new oil. So take off the oil fill cap, set it somewhere up out of the way so it doesn't get dirty. Get yourself a good funnel, And set the funnel right there in the opening. And now we'll pour in the 5 quarts of oil. All right, so we're going to pour the oil in here. And when it's done draining, take off the funnel and put the cap back on. So that's it, we're done. We'll take the oil fill cap, put that back on where the tabs are lined up, get that in place, and then turn it to the right. And that's an oil change on a 5-liter V8 85 Chevy Caprice. Thanks for watching.